My name is Sofia Reyes. I'm 27 years old. I'm a nurse. And tonight is the night a DEA agent made the biggest mistake of his career. When a drug cartel invaded County General Hospital in Miami at 11:47 p.m. to execute a protected federal witness, Special Agent Marcus Kane pushed me aside with a contemptuous glance. "Stay out of the way, nurse. This is DEA work." But when 6 heavily armed sicarios from the Medellin cartel stormed the emergency room, executed the first security guard with a shot to the head, and advanced toward the ICU where the witness was hospitalized, everything changed. Because I'm not just a nurse. I'm former DEA Special Response Team, the elite tactical operations unit of the DEA. Call sign, Viper. Discharged 18 months ago for excessive use of force and insubordination, after I single-handedly eliminated an entire cartel cell in Bogotá to avenge my murdered partner. And now, the moment the first guard hit the floor, I advanced, infiltrated the hospital through service corridors, neutralized all 6 sicarios in 15 minutes, protected the federal witness, and proved why the DEA considered me too dangerous to follow rules of engagement. My name is Sofia Reyes. Emergency room nurse. 8 months at County General Hospital in Miami, Florida. And I'm invisible. Nobody knows who I really am. Nobody asks questions. I'm just another nurse. Competent. Quiet. Professional. I keep my head down, treat patients, and blend into the background. Exactly as planned. Because I'm not here to be a hero. I'm here to forget. Forget Quantico. Forget the DEA Special Response Team. Forget the missions. Forget the face of my partner, Agent Daniel Cruz, bleeding out in my arms in a Bogotá warehouse. Forget the cartel members I killed in revenge. Forget the one mission that ended my career. I'm Sofia Reyes now. Not Viper. Not the DEA operator who spent 5 years conducting high-risk narcotics raids across Latin America. Not the woman who was too aggressive, too willing to cross the line, too determined to make cartels pay at any cost. Just a nurse. Invisible. Trying to be normal. But normal doesn't last. Not for people like me. It was 11:47 p.m. on a Thursday night in November. The ER was busy. Stabbings. Gunshot wounds. Overdoses. Typical Miami night. I was checking vitals on a cardiac patient when I heard the commotion at the main entrance. Raised voices. Security guards responding. Then I heard it. Crack. A single gunshot. Then screaming. I dropped my clipboard and moved toward the sound. The lobby was chaos. The security guard, a good man named Robert, father of 3, was on the floor. Shot in the head. Dead. Blood pooling beneath him. And standing over him, 6 men. All Hispanic. All armed. Tactical vests. AK-47s. Handguns. Cold, dead eyes. Sicarios. Cartel hitmen. The lead sicario, tall, muscular, face covered in tattoos, gold chains, scanned the room with his rifle. Everybody down. Now. People dropped. Patients. Visitors. Staff. Everyone. Except me. I was behind a pillar. Assessing. 6 sicarios. All armed. Military movements. Trained. Dangerous. Cartel operation. Then the lead sicario spoke into a radio. Estamos dentro. Proceden al objetivo. Piso cuatro. UCI. They were here for someone. 4th floor. ICU. A target. Then I heard sirens. Miami PD arrived within 90 seconds. Patrol officers. Weapons drawn. The sicarios opened fire through the glass doors. The officers took cover. Returned fire. The sicarios retreated deeper into the hospital. Then more sirens. DEA. Special Agent Marcus Kane emerged from a black SUV with a tactical team. 6 agents. Full gear. Kane was in his 40s. White. Buzz cut. Arrogant swagger. Former military. He saw me standing near the lobby entrance in my scrubs. You, nurse, get back to the ER. This is a DEA operation now. There are 6 armed sicarios inside. They're heading to the ICU on the 4th floor. They're here to kill someone. I don't need a nursing assessment. I need you to stay out of the way. This is DEA work. He turned away. I clenched my jaw. DEA work. I'd been doing DEA work when he was still pushing papers at a field office. But I didn't say anything. I went back to the ER, checked on patients, coordinated with staff, and listened to my radio. 3 minutes later, I heard automatic gunfire. 4th floor. Then screaming. Then silence. My radio crackled. All units, we have multiple shooters advancing on the ICU. Repeat, 6 armed suspects. They've breached the 4th floor. DEA agents engaged, requesting immediate backup. My blood ran cold. I grabbed my radio. This is Nurse Reyes. Who's the target? Federal witness. Cartel informant. He's testifying next week against the Medellin cartel. They're here to kill him. I felt the switch flip inside me. The same one that got me discharged. The same one that made me Viper. I moved. I went to my locker in the staff room. Opened it. Inside, hidden under my gym clothes, a Glock 19. Suppressor. 4 spare magazines. Tactical knife. Flex cuffs. Emergency kit. I'd kept it all. Just in case. I loaded the Glock. Attached the suppressor. Clipped the knife to my belt. Stuffed the flex cuffs in my pocket. Then I moved through the service corridors toward the 4th floor. Silent. Invisible. Lethal. I reached a stairwell access point. Climbed. Silent. Reached the 4th floor. The hallway was a war zone. Bullet holes in the walls. Blood on the floor. 2 DEA agents down. Wounded. Not dead. The 6 sicarios were advancing toward the ICU. Methodical. Professional. Executing their mission. And standing in their way, Special Agent Marcus Kane and 3 DEA agents. Pinned down behind a nurse's station. Outgunned. Outmaneuvered. Kane was shouting into his radio. We need backup. Now. We can't hold them. I assessed. 6 sicarios. All armed with AK-47s. Tactical vests. Level 3. Helmets. Professional. The DEA agents were pinned. Couldn't advance. Couldn't retreat. The sicarios would reach the ICU in less than 2 minutes. And then the witness would die. Unless someone stopped them. Unless Viper stopped them. I moved. I accessed the 4th floor through a maintenance corridor. Flanked the sicarios from behind. They were focused on the DEA agents. Didn't see me coming. I started with the rear guard. He was covering their 6. Alone. Vulnerable. I approached from behind. Silent. Applied a rear naked choke. He tried to struggle. Couldn't. 7 seconds. He went limp. I lowered him to the floor. Took his AK-47. 1 down. 5 remaining. The second sicario was 10 meters ahead. Scanning. Alert. I couldn't approach without being detected. I needed a distraction. I triggered the fire alarm in the adjacent wing. Sirens blared. Sprinklers activated. The sicarios turned toward the sound. Confused. I moved. Fast. Closed the distance. Struck the second sicario in the base of the skull with the butt of the AK-47. He dropped. 2 down. 4 remaining. The third sicario realized something was wrong. Turned. Saw his 2 partners down. Saw me. His eyes widened. He raised his rifle. I was faster. Double tap. Center mass. He fell. 3 down. 3 remaining. The remaining 3 sicarios spun toward me. Opened fire. I dove behind a medical cart. Bullets tore through the air. Shredded the cart. I rolled. Came up firing. Dropped the 4th sicario with a headshot. 4 down. 2 remaining. The lead sicario, the one with the tattoos and gold chains, grabbed a nurse. Used her as a human shield. Pressed his handgun against her temple. Drop your weapon or she dies. I didn't drop the Glock. I calculated. Distance. 8 meters. Hostage in the line of fire. Headshot required. High risk. But I'd made harder shots in Bogota. Let her go, I said. My voice was calm. Cold. Who are you? He shouted. You're not DEA. You're wearing scrubs. I'm whoever I need to be. You think you can save her? You think you're fast enough. I know I am. He laughed. You're bluffing. Try me. He hesitated. That was his mistake. I moved. Drew. Fired. 1 shot. His head snapped back. He dropped. The nurse collapsed, screaming. I caught her. You're safe now. 5 down. 1 remaining. The last sicario, young, maybe 25, terrified, dropped his rifle. Raised his hands. No despairs. No despairs. I approached. Glock trained on him. On your knees. Hands behind your head. He complied. I flex-cuffed him. 6 down. 0 remaining. I keyed my radio. This is Sofia Reyes. Threats neutralized. Hallway secure. 2 DEA agents wounded. Need paramedics. Silence. Then a voice. Nurse Reyes, this is DEA command. Confirm, you neutralized the sicarios. Confirmed. 5 dead. 1 in custody. Who are you? I didn't answer. Special Agent Marcus Kane emerged from behind the nurses' station. Stared at me. At the 5 dead sicarios. At the 1 in custody. At the Glock in my hand. You're Viper, he whispered. Former DEA Special Response Team. You were discharged 18 months ago. That's right. For excessive use of force. For doing what needed to be done. You killed an entire cartel cell in Bogota. Unauthorized. Against direct orders. They killed my partner. Agent Daniel Cruz. Tortured him. Left him to bleed out. So I made them pay. You went rogue. I went to war. And I won. He didn't respond. Miami PD and DEA tactical teams flooded the 4th floor. Secured the scene. Paramedics treated the wounded DEA agents. The federal witness was safe. Alive. Kane approached me. Nurse Reyes, I owe you an apology. And my life. You saved us all. I didn't do it for you. I did it for the witness. And for the people in this hospital. Fair enough. Then another voice. Viper. I turned. A woman in her 50s. Hispanic. Sharp suit. DA credentials. Assistant Director Carmen Ortiz. My former boss. Ma'am, I said. It's been a long time. 18 months. You've been keeping tabs on me? Always. You're too valuable to lose track of. I'm not DA anymore. No. But you're still the best operator I've ever seen. And tonight proved it. I did what needed to be done. You did what 6 DEA agents couldn't. You saved a federal witness. Stopped a cartel hit. And you did it alone. In 15 minutes. She glanced at the dead sicarios. That's why we need you back. Need me for what? To come back. DEA Special Response Team. Full reinstatement. Your record expunged. And a promotion. I stared at her. You discharged me for excessive use of force. I discharged you because you were a liability. You didn't follow orders. You took the law into your own hands. But you also stopped more cartel operations than any agent in DEA history. And tonight reminded me why. I'm not interested. Why not? Because I don't want to be a weapon anymore. I want to help people. Heal them. Not kill them. You can do both. Tonight proved that. I thought about it. I'll think about it. Don't think too long. We have a situation. Cartel operation. Major drug shipment coming into Miami. And we need the best. We need you. When? 72 hours. She handed me a card. Call me when you're ready. She left. I stood there, holding the card. Agent Kane approached. For what it's worth, I was wrong about you. You're not just a nurse. You're a legend. I'm just someone who does what needs to be done. No, you're more than that. You're Viper. And the world needs Viper. He walked away. I went back to the ER. Treated patients. Saved lives. But I couldn't stop thinking about Assistant Director Ortiz's offer. Could I go back? Could I be Viper again? Or was I Sofia Reyes now? I didn't know. That night, I went home. Opened my laptop. Searched for news about the cartel operation. Major drug shipment. Medellin cartel. 50 kilos of cocaine. Street value. $10 million. Coming into Miami in 72 hours. The DEA was planning a raid. But the cartel was expecting them. They had inside information. A mole. People were going to die. Unless someone stopped it. Unless Viper stopped it. I picked up my phone. Dialed Assistant Director Ortiz. I'm in, I said. Good. Be at the Miami field office at 0600. We'll brief you. Understood. And Sophia? Yes, ma'am. Welcome back. I hung up. Looked at myself in the mirror. Sofia Reyes. Viper. Both. Always. I packed my gear. Loaded my weapons. And prepared for the mission. Because that's who I am. A healer who fights. A warrior who saves. And the world needs both. I arrived at the Miami DEA field office at 0600. Assistant Director Ortiz met me in a secure briefing room. Here's the situation, she said, pulling up photos on a screen. Medellin cartel. Major cocaine shipment. 50 kilos. Coming into Miami by boat. Tomorrow night. Midnight. Port of Miami. What's the plan? We intercept the shipment. Arrest the cartel members. Seize the drugs. What's the problem? We have a mole. Someone inside the DEA is feeding information to the cartel. They know we're coming. So you need someone they don't know about. Exactly. You've been off the grid for 18 months. The cartel doesn't know you're back. You'll go in undercover. Infiltrate the operation. Identify the mole. And stop the shipment. Alone. You'll have support. But yes. You'll be going in alone. I nodded. When do I start? Now. I spent the next 48 hours preparing. Studying the cartel. Learning their operations. Their players. Their methods. The shipment was being coordinated by a man named Hector Vargas. Cartel lieutenant. Ruthless. Dangerous. Responsible for dozens of murders. Including Agent Daniel Cruz. My partner. The man I loved. The man I watched die. This was personal. The night of the operation, I went to the port of Miami. Dressed as a dock worker. Blended in. Invisible. The cartel members arrived at 11:45 p.m. 6 men. All armed. All dangerous. And leading them, Hector Vargas. Tall. Muscular. Cold eyes. The man who killed Daniel. I felt the rage building inside me. The same rage that got me discharged. But I controlled it. Focused. The shipment arrived at midnight. A small boat. 50 kilos of cocaine. Street value. $10 million. The cartel members began loading the drugs into a van. I moved. Silent. Invisible. I accessed the warehouse where they were loading the drugs. Climbed to a catwalk overlooking the operation. Assessed. 6 cartel members. All armed. Hector Vargas directing the operation. And standing with him, a DEA agent. The mole. I recognized him. Agent Thomas Reed. 35 years old. 10 years with the DEA. Trusted. Respected. A traitor. I keyed my comms. This is Viper. I've identified the mole. Agent Thomas Reed. He's here with the cartel. Copy that, Viper. Stand by for backup. Negative. I'm going in. Viper, wait for backup. That's an order. I didn't wait. I moved. I dropped from the catwalk. Landed behind the first cartel member. Struck him in the back of the head. He dropped. 1 down. 5 remaining. The second cartel member turned. Saw me. Raised his weapon. I was faster. Double tap. He fell. 2 down. 4 remaining. The remaining cartel members opened fire. I took cover behind a shipping container. Bullets ricocheted off the metal. I returned fire. Dropped the third cartel member. 3 down. 3 remaining. Hector Vargas grabbed Agent Reed. Used him as a human shield. Stop or he dies. I didn't stop. I advanced. He's a traitor. He deserves to die. You're DA. You can't kill him. Watch me. I fired. 1 shot. Through Reed's shoulder. Into Vargas's chest. Reed screamed. Vargas fell. 4 down. 2 remaining. The last 2 cartel members dropped their weapons. Raised their hands. No despairs. No surrendemos. I flex-cuffed them. 6 down. 0 remaining. DEA tactical teams flooded the warehouse. Secured the scene. Seized the drugs. Arrested the cartel members. And arrested Agent Thomas Reed. Assistant Director Ortiz met me outside. You did it, Sophia. You stopped the shipment. Identified the mole. And you took down Hector Vargas. He killed my partner. I know. And now he's dead. Justice is served. It's not justice. It's revenge. Maybe. But it's also closure. I nodded. Maybe. I spent the next year back with the DEA. Leading operations. Stopping cartels. Seizing drugs. But I also kept my nursing license. Worked shifts at hospitals when I could. Because I was both. Viper and Sophia Reyes. A warrior and a healer. And the world needed both. 1 year later, I was back in Miami. Working a shift at County General Hospital when Assistant Director Ortiz called. We have a situation, she said. What kind? Cartel retaliation. They're targeting DEA agents. 3 agents killed in the last week. And you're on the list. My blood ran cold. Who's behind it? Medellin cartel. They're seeking revenge for Hector Vargas. And they want you dead. Let them come. Sophia, this is serious. They've put $1 million bounty on your head. Every sicario in Miami is hunting you. Good. Let them find me. You need protection. I don't need protection. I need to end this. How? By going after them. Before they come after me. That's suicide. No. That's war. And I'm very good at war. She hesitated. What do you need? A list. Every Medellin cartel operation in Miami. Every safe house. Every lieutenant. Every sicario. I'll get it to you. And one more thing. What? Stay out of my way. I hung up. That night, I went to war. I hit every cartel operation in Miami. One by one. Safe houses. Drug labs. Stash houses. I burned them all. And I left a message. Viper is coming. The cartel responded. They sent sicarios after me. Dozens of them. I killed them all. 1 week later, the cartel was in chaos. Their operations destroyed. Their sicarios dead. Their leadership terrified. And then I went after the head. The cartel boss. A man named Eduardo Salazar. He was hiding in a mansion in Coral Gables. Surrounded by armed guards. Fortified. Secure. I infiltrated the mansion at 2 a.m., climbed the perimeter wall. Avoided the guards. Accessed the mansion through a second-floor window. Silent. Invisible. I moved through the mansion. Room by room. Neutralizing guards. Silent kills. No alarms. I reached Salazar's bedroom. He was asleep. Alone. Vulnerable. I stood over him. Glock in hand. He woke up. Saw me. His eyes widened. Viper. That's right. You're here to kill me. Yes. Then do it. I pressed the Glock against his forehead. This is for Agent Daniel Cruz. And for every life you've destroyed. I pulled the trigger. The war was over. The Medellin cartel was finished. And I was still standing. Assistant Director Ortiz called me the next morning. You did it, Sofia. You destroyed the cartel. Single-handedly. I did what needed to be done. You're a legend. The most effective DEA operator in history. I'm just someone who doesn't quit. No. You're Viper. And the world needs Viper. I smiled. Maybe. I spent the next 2 years with the DEA. Leading operations. Training agents. Stopping cartels. But I also worked as a nurse. Saving lives. Healing people. Because I was both. Viper and Sofia Reyes. A warrior and a healer. And the world needed both. One day, Assistant Director Ortiz called me into her office. We have a situation, she said. What kind? International. American hostages in Colombia. FARC guerrillas. And we need someone to go in and get them out. When? 72 hours. You'll be embedded with Colombian Special Forces. Your call sign will be Viper. I smiled. Just like old times. I deployed to Colombia. Joined the Colombian Special Forces. And we went to work. The mission was brutal. Dangerous. We infiltrated the FARC compound. Located the hostages. And extracted them. But we lost 2 operators. Good people. Heroes. I carried their bodies out of Colombia. Attended their funerals. Honored their sacrifice. And I made a promise. I would never stop fighting. Never stop protecting. Never stop being Viper. Because that's who I am. A guardian. A warrior. A protector of the innocent. And I'll do whatever it takes to keep people safe. Three years later, I was back in Miami. Still working with the DEA. Still practicing nursing at County General Hospital. Still hunting cartels. But something had changed. I wasn't running from my past anymore. I'd embraced it. I was Viper. And I was Sofia Reyes. Both. Always. One night, I was working a shift in the ER when a young woman came in. Overdose. Critical condition. I stabilized her. Administered naloxone. Saved her life. Afterward, she grabbed my hand. Thank you, she whispered. You're welcome. I know who you are. You're Viper. The DEA agent who destroyed the Medellin cartel. I'm just a nurse. No. You're a hero. And you inspired me. I'm getting clean. I'm going to turn my life around. Because of you. I smiled. Then make it count. Be better. Be stronger. And never give up. She nodded. I won't. She recovered. Got clean. Went to college. Became a social worker. And years later, she sent me a message. I made it. Because of you. Thank you, Viper. I realized something then. My legacy wasn't the cartels I'd destroyed. It wasn't the missions I'd completed. It was the lives I'd saved. The people I'd inspired. The difference I'd made. That's what mattered. One day, Assistant Director Ortiz called me. We did it, she said. Did what? We dismantled every major cartel operation in Florida. Every cell. Every leader. It's over. It's never over. No. But we won this fight. And you were a big part of that. We all were. True. But you were the tip of the spear. Viper. The legend. I smiled. I'm just a nurse, ma'am. You're a lot more than that. And the world is safer because of you. I hung up and looked around my apartment. Photos on the wall. Daniel Cruz. My partner. My love. Teammates. Patients. People I'd saved. People I'd lost. This was my life. Warrior. Healer. Protector. And I wouldn't change a thing. That night, I went to County General Hospital. Walked through the ER. Checked on patients. Talked to staff. And I felt at peace. Because I'd found my purpose. I'm Sophia Reyes. Call sign, Viper. DEA Special Response Team. Emergency Room Nurse. And I'm exactly where I need to be. Protecting the innocent. Stopping evil. Saving lives. The hunt never ends. But I'm ready. Because I'm Viper. And Viper never quits. Never stops. Never fails. I walked out of the hospital into the Miami night. The city lights reflected off the ocean. Somewhere out there, evil was planning, plotting, threatening. But I'd be ready. Because that's what I do. I protect. I fight. I save. And I'll never stop. Because I'm not just a nurse. I'm not just a DEA agent. I'm both. A warrior who heals. A healer who fights. And the world needs both. My phone buzzed. Emergency alert. Cartel activity. Downtown Miami. Multiple casualties. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my gear and ran. Because that's who I am. Sophia Reyes. Viper. Guardian. Protector. And when evil strikes, I strike back. Harder. Faster. Stronger. The hunt never ends. But neither do I. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I arrived at the scene. A nightclub. Cartel shootout. 10 casualties. The DEA commander briefed me. 2 rival cartels. Sinaloa and Jalisco. They're fighting for territory. Civilians caught in the crossfire. How many shooters? Unknown. At least 8. Maybe more. They're barricaded inside the club. Hostages. I'm going in. Alone. Always. I entered through a back entrance. Moved through the club. Silent. The club was dark. Strobe lights. Loud music. Chaos. I assessed. 8 shooters. 4 from each cartel. All armed. 20 hostages. Civilians. Terrified. I moved. Silent. Invisible. Lethal. I neutralized the first shooter with a chokehold. The second with a strike to the temple. The third raised his weapon. I was faster. Double tap. He fell. 3 down. 5 remaining. The remaining shooters realized they were under attack. Opened fire. Bullets tore through the club. I took cover. Returned fire. Dropped 2 more shooters. 5 down. 3 remaining. The last 3 shooters grabbed hostages. Use them as human shields. Drop your weapon or they die. I didn't drop my weapon. I calculated. 3 targets. 3 hostages. High risk. But I'd made harder shots. I fired. 3 shots. 3 kills. The hostages dropped to the floor, screaming. 8 down. 0 remaining. I keyed my comms. This is Viper. All threats neutralized. Hostages secure. Copy that, Viper. Outstanding work. The DEA team secured the club. Evacuated the hostages. Assistant Director Ortiz met me outside. Another flawless operation. Sophia. You're a legend. I'm just doing my job. No. You're doing what no one else can. And that's why you're invaluable. I smiled. I'm just a nurse who happens to be good at stopping cartels. You're Viper. And the world needs Viper. I went home that night. Cleaned my weapons. Wrote my report. And tried to sleep. But the nightmares came. They always did. The face of Daniel Cruz. My partner. My love. Bleeding out in my arms. The cartel members I'd killed. The missions that went wrong. I woke up at 3 a.m., drenched in sweat. Went to the bathroom. Splashed water on my face. Looked at myself in the mirror. Who was I? Sophia Reyes? Viper? Both? Neither. I didn't know anymore. But I knew one thing. I couldn't stop. Because people needed me. The innocent. The vulnerable. The ones who couldn't protect themselves. That was my purpose. My mission. My life. The next morning, I went to County General Hospital. Worked my shift. Saved lives. And when my shift ended, I went to the DEA field office. Trained agents. Planned operations. Prepared for the next threat. Because there would always be a next threat. Evil never rests. But neither do I. I'm Sophia Reyes. Call sign, Viper. DEA Special Response Team. Emergency Room Nurse. Guardian. Protector. And I'll do whatever it takes to keep people safe. Even if it means embracing the darkness. Even if it means becoming the weapon I was trained to be. Because that's who I am. A warrior who heals. A healer who fights. And the world needs both. The hunt never ends. But I'm ready. Because I'm Viper. And Viper never quits. Never stops. Never fails. I walked out of the DEA field office into the Miami afternoon. The city was alive. Vibrant. Beautiful. And somewhere out there, someone needed help. Someone needed protection. Someone needed me. And I'd be there. Always. Because that's what I do. I protect. I fight. I save. And I'll never stop. My phone buzzed. Text message from Assistant Director Ortiz. New mission. High priority. Briefing at 1800. I smiled. Here we go again. I grabbed my gear and headed out. Because the hunt never ends. And neither do I. I'm Sophia Reyes. Viper. And this is my life. Warrior. Healer. Guardian. Protector. And I wouldn't have it any other way. The world needs heroes. And I'll be one. Every single day. Until my last breath. Because that's who I am. Viper. And Viper never fails. I arrived at the briefing. Assistant Director Ortiz was waiting. We have a situation in Mexico. American DEA agents captured by the Sinaloa cartel. We need you to go in and bring them home. When do I leave? Tonight. I nodded. I'm ready. Because that's who I am. Sophia Reyes. Viper. And I'll never stop fighting. Never stop protecting. Never stop being the guardian the world needs. The hunt never ends. But I'm ready. Always ready. Because I'm Viper. And Viper never quits.